that third quarter changed everything.
Yep.
And we can talk about Steph, and we will, but Kevon Looney in this series, dude,
unsung hero.
dominant. I mean, he was the second most important player because it's not only what he did rebounding, not only what he did with the second chance opportunities, it's how he battled Sabonis, dude. We have never seen Sabonis look like this, and Sabonis had much better numbers, but everything seemed much more difficult. And Looney deserves so much credit for what he did in this series against the Sacramento Kings. They don't win this series without him.
No, he altered the Kings offense in so many different ways. He stuck to his game plan. He stayed very physical out there. And I think at times, of course, you can look at possessions and be like, well, is that over the back? Is that? It doesn't matter.
He played with physicality.
And he set the tone and said, this is how I'm going to play. You call it if you want to call it. And that's what he did. And I think when you look at that third quarter, too, and not just him, but from all the offensive rebounds, but then from all the rebounding from Looney throughout the series. And then in this game, we talk about this game specifically and why the pace was dictated by the Warriors, because when you're not finishing off a defensive possession with that rebound, you ain't going the other way. You ain't pushing the ball and going downhill. And that's exactly what happened with the Sacramento Kings in that third quarter.
Morgan, if you allow 13 offensive rebounds in a game.
Deflating.
That hurts, right? In a
game. It hurts.
The Warriors had 13 offensive rebounds in the third quarter.
Crushing, you guys.
It sucked
mentally.
The life. It sucked the life out of them. It absolutely sucked the life out of the Kings. Looney had 7 offensive rebounds alone in that third quarter. He ends up finishing the game with 21 rebounds, and that was a theme for him. And it's wild. He was pretty ineffective last game, not as effective, and the Kings won that game. And it's a huge credit to him for playing physical, for having a knack. This guy is completely underrated to me, and he has been for years. And you saw him go up against Sabonis, who will likely be named to the All-NBA team, who was the rebounding leader in the NBA, and he got the absolute best out of Sabonis in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, he controlled the glass. He played physical. He made life so difficult. So Draymond Green, but Looney was just special.
Yeah, I truly, his presence in the paint was felt on such a different level. And this Warriors team, I don't think got enough credit toward the end of this season with where they were defensively. All season long, like, this team can't really play defense. Oh yeah, GP2. Oh, he's injured. Like, what are they going to be? Well, they started creating so much more together, right? And that was even without Andrew Wiggins at this time.
Yeah.
Then they get to the postseason. You shove Andrew Wiggins in there. Their defense continued on that right path, except not those first 2 games. The Kings showed them what they can do differently with that high level offense. But a smart championship caliber team like the Warriors made their adjustments, did what they needed to do, and pushed right back to the Sacramento Kings. Just great. I would say fun, good coaching from both squad, adjustment wise from both teams, both coaches.
Well, the smartest thing Steve Kerr did today was put Draymond Green back in the starting lineup.
Correct.
He had to. And when you are in a Game 7 situation, you need to get stops. You need to slow things down. It has to be physical. You need to play Draymond. And he played him, and Poole only played 19 minutes. Poole's been ineffective. He's been dealing with an ankle thing, and that was a great adjustment by Steve Kerr. And I think the Kings had their chances. The first half, man, the Kings had to have felt good at halftime.
Yeah.
It was a close game. They're shooting all right. TD came in, and Lyles, they gave him a spark, and you're, oh, this is similar to maybe last game a little bit, where the Kings bench is stepping up in a big way. But ultimately, the shots just that third quarter, Golden State comes out, and the execution by them, even though they're missing shots. And I feel like that was the story of this series. The team who was able to control the glass, especially second chance points, offensive rebounds, and took care of the ball, they controlled the possession game. They won the games. Because this was both teams who were very good offensive teams did not shoot the ball well at all in this series. They did not. So it was about the little things. The little things mattered most, and the Warriors did the little things far better than the Sacramento Kings, and that's the difference in this game.
It was a huge difference in this game.
In the series.
In this series, but then in this game specifically, though, you saw a lot more of those moments, right? When the Kings were making mistakes, the the Warriors were the team that was capitalizing on those mistakes, and it wasn't going back around the other way. Look at the free throws even. I mean, the Kings ended up shooting a little under 60% from the free throw line, 16 of 27. It just
Warriors were 19 of 30.
and the Warriors were missing theirs too, but my whole point was who was going to capitalize even on those mistakes and make sure that you're scoring buckets if you're not getting the nice easy free throws. Warriors just kept pushing, and their effort was there on both ends of the floor. And then when they felt it and they just felt hot, they just did not stop.